nice to see you again. Welcome back to Real American Cougar. I've been thinking about the whole cougar image thing, and I was just wondering, is being called a cougar an insult? Should I be offended, or should women be offended by it? Well, I thought it was kind of fun when my friends and family first started calling me a cougar. I thought it was just kind of funny, just kind of fun. And then when I researched and found out what it really means, and went over all the stereotypical description of a mature single woman who dates, or one who is in the cougar lifestyle, I've come to figure out that maybe it's a little unfair and degrading. And I will tell you why. Before I get into that, I want to remind you that coming up, April 30th, it's coming pretty soon, at 4 o'clock, we are going to be having the very first annual Real American Cougar anniversary show in front of a live audience. We're going to have some snacks. We're going to have some musical guests. I'll do my show. It will be put on YouTube the next week. So if you want a chance to be seen on YouTube and you want a chance to come and have a good time and help me celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Real American Cougar, please come. I would appreciate it, and it'll be a lot of fun. Getting back to our little talk here. Really being called a cougar doesn't mean that you're hot for your age or anything like that. It's not really a compliment. The cougar lifestyle, to make it short, we went over this before, is that women who dress up, they try to look young, they try to look glamorous, they go out to bars with the intention of finding a young man, taking him home, having sex, and that's it. They say that cougars really aren't into relationships. They just go out. They like younger men. Some people say the younger the better. And that's what they do. That is the cougar stereotype of the cougar lifestyle. And some women may be like that. But I think it's unfair and degrading. It implies that there is something predatory going on. It implies that you're preying, and some articles that I've read and research that I've done even says preying, stalking their prey, hunting their prey, on younger guys. And it implies that there's a sexual aggression and a lot of stalking going on. Now, stalking, I wouldn't be comfortable if anybody was stalking me, and I wouldn't want to do the same to somebody else. I don't think it's a very good feeling to think that somebody is stalking you. I once dated a guy 18 years younger than me. That was the limit, 18 years. This guy had turned around 40. He was old enough to know what life was about. He was old enough to know better. He was old enough to know what he was getting into. I think that guys, by the time they're 40 years old, should be mature people. Of course, according to some women, they say some of their guys never grow up. But just imagine if you were, say, you're 50, you're dating a 25-year-old, or you're 40, you're dating a 20-year-old, or you're 35 and dating a 17-year-old. That's not even really legal. But I just can't see that. One reason I can't get my head around the predatory factor is that it might be a thrill for older women to get together with these young guys, but that's kind of selfish, I think. Guys, sometimes when they're younger, and I hear it from older guys too, oh, I would have loved it if I'd had an older woman when I was young, or I would like to have a younger woman, or older woman, teach me the ropes. No matter, when it comes to sex, you really don't need anybody to teach you the ropes. No matter what your intelligence level is, what your educational level is, if you've ever been taught about sex, if you've never been taught about sex, everybody figures it out. Everybody figures it out. We don't need anybody to show us how to do it. It's a natural instinct that can become deeper as emotions are involved. But I'm just talking about the sexual act. Everybody learns how to do it. They don't really need to be taught. There wasn't a whole lot of sexual education in my family. My parents couldn't even say the word sex. But even if you don't have a clue you learn how to have sexual intercourse. Every mature person learns. So I really don't think there's a need for anyone to teach anyone. And with most things, the more you practice, the better you get. So I really don't go along with the whole fantasy thing of the older woman teaching the young guy. And another thing I want to bring up is women, and I've known women to do this, and I can think of some very public figures, celebrity women that have done this. And you may have heard about some of these stories about this recently, but meeting young men because they're friends of your children, okay? I think that's just, unless they are very mature, unless you have a child that is 40 years old, I can't see getting together with someone you met through one of your children. It's embarrassing, I would think, to them. I was divorced at one time. My son was still home. He was a teenager, and my older daughter and my youngest daughter. And my son had a friend named Tyler. And Tyler would come over and hang out, and he'd come over and hang out before my ex left. And then he'd come out and hang out with my son because he was my son's friend. So one day my son got to talking to me, and he said, Tyler wants to date you. I think they were about 17 years old at the time. And I said, nah, I don't think that's going to happen. He said, well, I figured not. He said that he told my son that if he dated me and we got married, he would be my son's stepfather, and my son and him would be allowed to do anything they wanted. And I said, I don't think so. But I would have never, I would have never mortified my son by dating his friend at that age, or even at 20 or 25 or 30. That's just not fair to put your children into the middle of that. It's just not fair to them. Some young men, any person that is still in their late teens, their 20s, maybe to their mid-30s, is still trying to figure out what life is about. At that age, you don't know for sure where you're going. You don't know for sure what you're doing. You don't know how you feel about a lot of things. And emotions are things that become memories in our minds. A lot of our memories are associated. We can feel the emotion that we felt when that memory happened. So things stick with us a long time. We don't just, feel something and then it's gone. Maybe. But a lot of times those emotions go in our mind as memories. And if you are with a young person that doesn't have their life figured out yet, they haven't matured, they don't know what's in store for them. Young people sometimes can't tell the difference between sex and love. It's all the same. So you can really do some damage to a young person emotionally. And also, the predatory thing, they talk about men. Okay, there's a 50-year-old man, he can date a 25-year-old woman, or a 40-year-old will date a 20-year-old woman. And that's kind of more acceptable these days. But if you have ever been taken advantage of by a sexual predator because you were young, because you were naive, because you were easily manipulated, that is going to stick with you for a long, long time, maybe for the rest of your life. And I just honestly can't do that to a person. I don't understand how anybody could do that to a person. I think that women who are 40 dating 20-year-olds, I think that is disgusting. I'm just disgusted by that idea, because these people need a chance to become their own person. And the things that you do, you don't realize how the things that you can do can influence other people in a negative way. I would like to influence other people in a positive way. I'm a helper and a fixer, and I will always try to do the positive thing. I try to stay positive, but I really worry about influencing anyone in a negative way. I think that people need their time to get their thoughts together, to get their feelings together, their time to know what's going on in life and have a chance at making their own life. If someone is predatory, 40, 50 years old, they're going after a 25-year-old, I think that that gets in the way of a young person figuring out their path in life. And I just don't think that's fair to a younger person. And I don't think that it's fair for anyone to be treated as a sex object. The stereotype of the cougar says that they go out, they look for the young guy, they have sex, and that's that. They don't want a commitment. They don't want anything else. I think that's kind of rude, just to use somebody as a sex object and cast them away. I just can't do it. So because of the predatory aspect of the cougar lifestyle, I really can't agree with it. I really am disgusted by that. I really feel offended by that. And that is one reason why I don't want to identify with the cougar stereotype. I don't want to identify with the cougar image. Do I enjoy being a mature woman who likes to go out? Yeah, enjoy it. But you have to have judgment. You have to use your best judgment and do what's right for everybody involved. That's the best way to go about life. Do what's right for everybody involved. Well, thank you very much for this little chat. That's about all I have to say about that. I believe I've said enough, got my point across. But if you would like to comment on this video or send me a message on the Real American Cougar Facebook page, how you feel about whether or not you should be offended by being called a cougar, let me know. We are getting geared up for this first anniversary party at Lost Recording Studio right here in Jamestown, New York. Let me know if you'd like to come or just come show up. It's going to be fun. Till next time, peace out.